Dust yourself off and try again. From Orange County to La La Land, the orange and blue shoot to end a 4-game slide. We get you set for the Oilers and the Kings on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well out there. Tom Gazzola, Ben Thomson with you. Matt Cassian is our game analyst. Dennis Bernstein is our Kings guest. And we are off and running right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Hop into the text line, 780-218-9999. It was spicy last night. You know what else was spicy last night? The nasty chat.
Yes.
Get in there as well if you're watching on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, please, and thank you. We got to 14,000 subscribers, which is awesome. We march on. Tell your friends, as Dusty and Eric like to say. This station, the best one in the city for sports. There's one in Wetaskiwin, I heard, but you can't really hear much there. So we're here for you. We bring the goods every night, and we're ready to rock on another fantastic pre- and post-game show, hopefully with a better result for Oil Country. Edmonton 28-23-8. The Kings 23-20-14. It is game number 60. Runway is getting shorter, Ben Thomson.
And you can't afford to give up points.
Not anymore.
Especially against the team you're playing tonight. You gave up points last night against the team that was chasing you. And I mean, now they're past you. So it's a similar situation with the Kings, man. Only 4 points back, 2 games in hand. If the Kings win both those games, they pass you. Yeah, this is important. We said last night, must win, you could say. And you got to hope that they put up a better performance, at least defensively tonight. I believe that they will have a better goaltending performance tonight, because that's how confident I am in Connor Ingram. Okay. I think there's not been a whole lot of games where you're going, he needs to be better. He's been pretty damn good. It's under a handful for Connor Ingram since he's been in Edmonton. So in front of him, you need to make sure you're clearing out lanes. Sticks in the right lanes, obviously, but just playing an overall good defensive game in front of Connor Ingram, and I like your chances because the LA Kings aren't the highest of scoring teams. They added Artemi Panarin, great. You lose Kevin Fiala, though. So Panarin's probably a little bit better than Fiala, but not by a whole lot. So yeah, you kind of go 1 for 1 there. So I hope it's a better response or a better game for the Oilers tonight, because they desperately need it right now. They're slipping.
All right, Cass is going to join us shortly. Sheldon XS says, Perry, 2-goal night and a fight player of the night. I can see it now. Also adds, we are a team of giving in regard to the Oilers. All right, what is the question of the night? Do you have one ready?
Yep.
Let's go, baby.
I mean, it is simple. What kind of response do you expect from the Oilers tonight? That's as simple as it is.
Show your work.
With how last night went, and the narratives that have been around this team about how they can't play defense, but Paul Coffey's going to be the answer. And I think the station has pushed back pretty heavily on it. And once again, if it works, great.
Cautious optimism, yes, I would say, is a nice way to frame it.
To me, this decor, and I explained it last night, how that top 4 is mainly built up of players that are high risk, high reward guys.
Yeah.
That have a lot more of the downside in their game as of right now than their upside. And so, when you have when you have that personnel in your back end, you're bound to have, not as smart and smooth defensive play from your back end. So in nights like last night, you saw the downside of your defense, which has been the majority of this year. So what kind of response do you get from them tonight? I personally, I wasn't very high on them coming out of this break. I still think they're a little struggle tonight, personally. But I guess we'll see.
Shall see. All right, that is the question of the night. Let's bring in our game analyst. Cass is ready to rock. Matt Cassian with us. And let's float that game, or that question of the night to Cass before we get into game changers. What do you think will be the response from the Oil tonight after yesterday's collapse? I think, we referenced compounding errors. We saw that on a few occasions last night. they did some good. They built two goal leads up. Now they blew them both and lost in regulation. Double whammy. But Cass, what are you expecting response-wise from the Orange and Blue?
Ooh, I'm hoping they respond well, because it seems to me to be the first time that Knobloch has, I don't want to say flown off the handle, but like that, the frustration from the coach is spilling out. And I'm hoping that's a rare instance that it maybe spilled out a little bit in the room and that maybe snapped something in guys' brains. That being said, guys, if it's a people problem in terms of just the personnel not being able to execute the game plan properly, coach getting upset isn't going to necessarily do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And without player moves, I don't know how much happens. Now, I hope it does. I hope it does. So I'm hoping we get a response tonight. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's me being too cynical. I think that's me being too cynical now that I'm just unpacking my own thoughts out loud in front of everybody. Because we have seen them for stretches of games play good defense. They've done it. We've seen them do it. So it is possible. So let's stick with that. I hope that Knobloch's frustration wakes people up more than Leon's frustration that he's now displayed a couple of times to the press. So we'll see, guys. I'm hoping there's a response. I'm hoping there was a response, and everything from even pulling Jari early when the game's 5-5. That's to try to send a message too of frustration, not just to Jari but to everybody, in that it's a tie game where your goalie has actually still made more saves than the other goalie, and you're pulling yours. It's communicating something. So yeah, I hope there's a response. I don't know, because this team has been pretty unpredictable at times this year.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm hoping for, guys. I'm hoping for a good response.
Play pissed off. Play angry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take it out on the Kings. And listen, the Kings don't like the Oilers either.
No, they don't. They have guys that I mean, it's what's happened in, the reason why that is, it's been 4 straight playoff runs for them that have gotten ended by this team. And they still have a large majority of those guys going. For the Oilers, obviously there's a little bit of bad blood on their side for them as well. But like I was saying, I think last time the Kings played the Oilers, it's not a rivalry unless both teams have won, in my opinion. And the Oilers have had their way with the Kings 4 straight times now. If there's a year, in my opinion, that the Kings could win, as of right now, it looks like this year. But they got to get in the playoffs first, I guess.
Yeah. We'll get to some reports. I know, Benny, you brought something up that was said by Frank. I'm talking to our Hello Hockey Insider right now. He has some very interesting responses to that. Not fit for air. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we do need to get into Game Changers. Share your thoughts, 780-218-9999 in regard to the question of the night. What kind of response are you anticipating from the Oilers? Chris in the nasty chat says Oilers will lose. Old Gil says, I wish they would have kept the powder dry, quote unquote. $4 million cap space. Kulak in a second would help. Barbershop window. Knobloch hates coffee. That's why he snapped. Derek says, I don't have a good feeling about tonight. We need a line brawl. Barbershop window adds Cates' fault. And then Smith, TM14. We will address that in a little bit. But we got to get to Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting, a real estate. Damon Bunting, a consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Number 1 tonight, Cass, sticks in the middle.
Please get sticks in shooting lanes. You guys remember like when you're playing like a game of pickup, maybe playing a game of ball hockey with some buddies. You head out to the ODR and everyone throws their sticks in the middle.
Yeah, classic.
And it's like a big mess of sticks. Do you think any pucks are getting through there? No.
No.
You try to slide another stick underneath, get through to all those other sticks. Is that stick going to get through? No.
No.
No. So how about this? Edmonton Oilers tonight as a game changer. Let's get our sticks in some lanes. Let's those backdoor passes on game winners that go through three guys just kind of wiggling the wet floppy noodle stick out there, waving, hoping I'm going to tip this puck in the air and send myself on a breakaway, or I don't know what. Let's hope that stops tonight. There's been much too much of that going around. So I am really hoping, because it's a big part of where they've been struggling defensively in their own zone, of having good stick positioning and shutting down some lanes and reading eyes, reading hands. So which way do guys on the other team shoot? Read where they're looking with their eyes and their shoulders, and putting your stick in a position that either can intercept pass or force them to areas that they're not as high danger. Mm-hmm. So we haven't seen that enough in the stretch of games where, and going back well before the break, where they've given up 8 million goals in 5 games or 8 games or however many games, and they've got scored on 40 times. That's been an issue, I think. And the more I thought about the game yesterday, I was like, this is a big thing that they've been struggling with, is having sticks in good lanes and shutting down some of those plays. So let's hope they do it tonight. LA, even with Panarin, I don't think they're as offensively gifted or offensively aggressive naturally as the Anaheim Ducks are. So I'm hoping that if you can lock it down a little bit here, maybe you won't give up too much tonight. So sticks in lanes, sticks in the middle, shut those things down. Don't give up those bad backdoor plays, and maybe you got a better chance at winning tonight.
The sticks and lanes is 100% with you, Cass. You need to pair that with great positioning though as well, because we saw in the game winner last night, Draisaitl and Wallman's stick were technically in the proper lanes.
Did you see how they were standing?
Exactly.
But they were. So I talked to like on the podcast today, and two guys and a goalie. We chatted about this a little bit because I wanted to ask Joaquin as a goalie. That would be the beauty lister Joaquin Gage, friend of the show. I asked him, I'm like, Gager, like, do you want in that position, would you want Wallman right in front of you, like in the shooting lane, or should he stand to the side? And he's like, well, he should stand to the side, but he should stand to the left side because on that right side, he's literally not doing anything.
Right. No man's land, right?
No man's land. Yes, you're out of the goalie's way, so the goalie can see if there is a shot that comes through, but then you're just waving your stick in the shooting lane or in a passing lane, as opposed to being on the top side of the crease in that instance, which all of a sudden closes that up like crazy. I didn't love Leon's path on it too, where Leon should have been stepping towards the strong side of the ice down to close that distance, not coming straight back, because he, again, was kind of stepping into an area where he wasn't covering anybody, wasn't doing anything. So there's a couple guys there on that play that it were just, a little bit out of position. Didn't help the team, didn't help themselves.
I also want to give Leo Carlson credit for threading a pass through.
That was a very nice pass.
There is that. Like, it was a pass. Was that?
Shouldn't get through. That's the essence of what we're saying. When you say sticks in the middle on point number 1 of Game Changers. All right, let's go to point number 2. This is a big one. We talked about it a lot last night. It was on all of our shows here on EST today. The starters crease, Cass.
For as much as I don't want to blame the game, and I don't, on Tristan Jarry, there was a lot that the team didn't help him with. Yeah, he wasn't great either. And Knobloch pointed it out. I think we all could see it. It wasn't a great effort for him. Not to say effort, but he didn't play well.
Right.
And Connor Ingram, as of right now, has been, even through a tumultuous, porous, and I'm trying to think of another good word for it, but basically a chunk of time where you've got absolutely lit up in your own net and in your own end. He has been a little bit more of the steady hand of the two. Now, not by much recently, because again, they've just been struggling defensively as a whole. But Connor Ingram has, as of right now, he earned the start. Now, you knew he was going to start today anyways, back to back, but they're running out of room to just play everybody from a goaltending standpoint, whether it's Jari or Ingram. And it's like Jari or Ingram is right there the starter's crease is his to take here. It really is.
Yeah.
And for a team that has been porous, that has been struggling, it may come down to a goaltender being so rock solid and so steady that he doesn't necessarily steal you a game, because I think the Oilers generally still produce offense, but he steals you a game in that the other team probably should have scored a couple more goals and they don't because of your goaltending. A huge opportunity for Ingram here. And certainly it feels like, from a fan standpoint and everything we get in the inbox, it kind of feels like people are feeling that too.
Yep.
Although we're starting to see some, hey, do you think they trade for 2 goalies talk, because Colorado did it last year and we can trade for 2 goalies and goalies are the problem. Right. So, but for now, I think it's a pretty tremendous opportunity here for Connor Ingram to take the starter's crease and take it over for a pretty good amount of this stretch run here.
We fully anticipate Connor Ingram to get the start. I know Chris Knobloch spoke at 7:10 our time. We'll have that later?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. You can text us 780-218-9999. You can hop into the nasty chat as well. It is Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Cassian. Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Sticks in the middle was number 1. The starter's crease, hot topic, number 2. Number 3, Cass, I like how you put this, old friends.
Lots of old friends,
sure.
It feels like. And, you guys want to have a little side bet here on if Corey Perry gets a point tonight? Maybe Cody Ceci gets a point tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe Warren Fogle gets a point tonight. A couple old Edmonton Oilers here now on the Los Angeles Kings, and Perry and Fogle. Perry, I think, is playing on the 4th line. Fogle on the 3rd. Not a crazy amount of minutes, but they're still finding success. And Corey Perry doing Corey Perry things when he's on the ice, still being aggravating, still as a veteran guy, just finding ways somehow to contribute. And Cody Ceci, the same thing, not playing a massive amount of minutes, but still just out there trying to be a steady guy for the LA Kings. And for the Edmonton Oilers, an opportunity to go up against some of those guys and maybe stick it to them a little bit. But they're going to be wanting to do the same thing on the flip side. I mean, I fully anticipate Corey Perry to, at some point tonight, end up half on top of Connor Ingram. Right, like it's gonna happen.
Probably.
And the Edmonton Oilers, we know, aren't necessarily a team that's going to respond overly to that necessarily. Maybe some guys, Emberson might be in there, and there's a few guys that might be in there.
Sure.
But listen, it is always fun playing buddies. And I don't know the statistics for this happening to the Oilers versus everybody else in the league. I'm sure someone has had them or looks them up, but it just feels like anytime someone has left Edmonton, that they always get a point or always score. Now, maybe that's just they're motivated. Maybe that's just they're extra excited and there's the adrenaline, but it kind of feels like that happens every single time where you're just like, yeah, of course.
It does.
Of course, Perry, got a point. Of course, Perry got a goal. Of course he did, right? Because he's not an Oiler anymore. So of course now he's going to get it. But guys that obviously would love to play against the Edmonton Oilers and have an impact playing against them. I don't think that they're the big threats right now for the LA Kings. That Kempe line is potentially really good with Panarin on it, but hey, anytime you're playing against your old teammates and guys that have nicknames like the Worm, there might be a little bit of a rub during the game, especially against an LA Kings team that, even the guys that didn't play for you in Edmonton, there's not a lot of guys that like you over there. So could be fun with that in mind.
Couple of things coming out of that point of Game Changers. Barry the Cheater says, are we getting a fight tonight? What do you say? Cass?
Probably not.
Damn.
Maybe, but probably
Benny, please
not.
say yes.
I'm with Cass. I don't know.
Wait, I'm playing the odds, right?
Yeah, I know.
But who would go for? Is it Perry
and Frederick?
I guess.
Let's go.
I guess. Well, they fought when Perry was an Oiler and Frederick was a Bruin.
That's right.
I was watching an Oilers Plus episode the other night, and they had Darnell Nurse mic'd up for a game, and this is when they played the Kings back at home.
Yep.
And I believe he skated past Perry. He goes, "You want one?" And they laughed about it. So I don't know. Maybe, but because I'm pretty sure they have fought before too. I'm pretty sure Nurse and Perry have fought.
Maybe
when Perry
I don't think Perry wants much of Nurse in that regard.
No.
I mean, like Edmondson, maybe.
Yeah.
But not with like Edmondson could be a guy. And I don't think Edmondson loves fighting, but he's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He'd do it. Dumoulin? Would he do it?
Cass, Darnell saying you want one to Corey Perry in jest or whatever. What, if you recall, is the funniest sentence or thing a guy has said to you to initiate or agree upon a future fight? Or to start one?
Oh man, I'm gonna come back to me on that. I'll try to think of something and I'll jump in.
I also have something. You think of that. I have something to further your point in regard to whenever an ex-Oiler faces Edmonton and they get a point or they do something of significance. Our good buddy Jason Roberts over at Up 99, who used to be at the Bear. Jason would come into our talent tank back at the Bell Studios, and he had a running list of all of the milestones former players would have or any accomplishment that happened against Edmonton. Mm-hmm. And he had a list that was like 1,000 lines long. And I'm like, are you seriously keeping this thing alive? He goes, anytime it happens. I've been running this list for years. I was like, clearly. And he was right. Like, he kept the receipts. And it was former Oiler milestone, first goal, first win, first shutout. Damn it, Coach Quenville got his 1,000th win against the Oilers last night. They're taking photos on the ice. It happens a lot to this team. And I feel like, and I've heard from others in other organizations, that there's kind of like it's a bit of a treat to do it against Edmonton for whatever reason.
Kind of like Toronto, in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been more of a treat against Toronto.
Who got their butts whipped tonight, by the way, if that helps. They lost to Florida pretty good.
Yeah.
What was the score? 5-1.
They are hurting.
They certainly are. They're done.
OEL anybody? OEL anybody?
Okay, let's get into. Do you remember any funny things to initiate?
I know off the top of my head.
Okay,
they're undoubtedly there, but I'm just like, man, I don't like anything that I truly say now might be making it up. So
want one's funny though. I appreciate that from Darnell Nurse. All right, let's jump into this because Smith, TM14, wanted to say trade for OEL. Now, Benny, you text this to Cass and I. Go ahead, tee it up.
Yeah, so Frank Saravalli was on the Amazon Prime. He did an Amazon Prime segment or something like that. Basically just alluding to that the Oilers are interested in Justin Falk from St. Louis or OEL from Toronto. Justin Falk is in his 6th year of a 7-year deal at a cap hit of $6.5 million. While OEL is in the year 2 of a $3.5 million cap hit. So those are both pretty solid defensemen, in my opinion. I think those are definite upgrades on Stasny or Emberson, whoever you take out of the lineup for them. Boys, do you think that's the proper defenseman they need to be going for?
Good question. I'll get to the other stuff. Cass, what do you think of that? Proper defenseman. That is a valid point.
Yeah, I mean,
forget realistic, but just proper.
Yeah, that's that realistic side of it. I mean, are they proper defensemen? Yes. Is it realistic? I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it. And really, like, at least for like an Oliver Ekman-Larsson, he's a left shot.
Yeah,
I don't need another left shot.
That's what I was thinking too.
The left shot D aren't doing too great right now. Neither are the right shot D outside of Blue Shark.
Okay,
but you're right.
D aren't too great, but you need a right shot guy.
Yeah,
more than you need a left shot guy. You need a right shot guy, and so yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say it's impossible with those guys. I just think I don't think they can make those. I just can't see those happening.
I like how Benny threw out, are they the proper guys for this blue line? Obviously, to make it better. The answer, I think, is yes. They're better than Emerson, Stasny, Regula, obviously. Heck, you can even throw Nurse in there with the way he's playing right now. However, our Hello Hockey Insider Pegs, I threw that out. I'm like, did you see this? And he goes, yeah. He's like, I'm sure they've checked in, but what cap space? Oh, and then he added, OEL doesn't want to go anywhere.
Okay.
That's from our guy, David Pagnano.
Frank said later on that none of this happens without Mangiapane being traded. So there's that. Which OEL and Mangiapane have similar cap hits. So, but if he doesn't want to go anywhere, then
that's what Dave said.
Yeah. So I mean, I bring up that question because, you know, we've talked about, yes, the defensemen need to be able to make plays in order for this team to be successful. In transition is the Oilers' biggest strength, and getting to their top guys in transition is critical. It needs to happen for this team to have success.
I want to hear the but.
But that all doesn't matter when you can't pick up the guy in front of your net.
Or get the puck from the opposition.
That too. So,
well done, Benny.
I as much as OEL and Justin Falk, like those are two guys to me those are puck moving defensemen. Like those are guys that play well, you know, in the offensive zone. They can move up the puck, and that's great. Because that's honestly been a struggle for the Oilers this year too. Go ahead,
Cass. I want to hear it. Express yourself.
I want to. So here's one. I mentioned this guy 2 years ago is a potential target for the Oilers.
I know where you're going with this.
You probably know where I'm going with this. I mentioned it 2 years ago, and I think his name is probably, well, it has actually, because I checked today. His name has started to pop up on some trade lists and started to pop up with some people being like, oh, wait, maybe Edmonton should take a look at him. Like an Andrew Peak out of Boston. A bigger physical guy. He's not as good of a puck mover as an OEL or a Justin Falk. I get that, but he's a bigger body, plays mean, can play in that, he's going to be cheaper, and potentially you could get to retain as a guy on expiring contract that you could actually maybe make the money work with him, potentially. A lot easier to make the money work than somewhere else. I know that a lot of the criticism is, you just need a puck-moving defenseman. I don't think they need a puck-moving defenseman. I mean, like, would that be great? Sure. I think they need a second pairing guy that's a Jacob Trouba type player.
Yes.
Like take somebody's head off.
Yeah.
I might try to break your ankle. Like I'm gonna cross-check you in the teeth type of player. Because they have guys that can move the puck. Wallman can move the puck. Bouchard can move the puck. Nurse, when he's playing well, can move the puck. Those guys can move the puck. Yeah. Give me somebody that is terrifying at times. And now Peak's not, I'm not saying Andrew Peak is like terrifying in the be all end all. I'm saying guys that maybe kind of fit the bill that you could actually make work from a dollar standpoint. But give me like a Trouba. I mean, Trouba that'd be exactly what I'd want.
Right.
Like a guy that might flying elbow someone when they try to step outside.
He's a killer.
Like that's what they need. They need a little bit of that. They need a little bit of that nasty, and a guy that then can, on the right side, defensively play stable, steady. You can pair him with Nurse, and he can run around and try to just run people over and be really, really mean and nasty and help you penalty kill. That's what I want. And I think a player like that, to me, is more valuable than just another guy that's, he's a good skater and a good puck mover. Yeah. It's like, if you get me a realistic top two guy that's a great skater and a great puck mover and a right-handed shot, sure, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no to that.
No,
but realistically, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think we've been talking about it. Puck moving defenseman. I don't know if that's the need. Which is why I think the Ekholm trade at the time was such a slam dunk trade because he was the guy that could break up plays but also move the puck. He was
that's what you want. Knife.
Exactly.
Thank you, Benny. That's what you want.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's that guy out there right now, especially with the assets and the cap management, all that stuff. Jack and Dax in the chat was saying Rasmus Ristolainen would that be a guy like
better than Ty Emberson?
Yeah. Like a but is that kind of like a Trouba-ish type guy? I've seen he's in trade rumors, but it's an interesting discussion. I'm very curious where it goes.
If you could find a way to create the cap space and finagle that deal, sure.
Yeah.
That's the mountain that they have to overcome.
100%.
Cass, do you have anything to add, or I'll just end this because we've got Bernstein coming up right away here.
No, that's good.
Okay, really quickly. I mentioned this on the Hangout, I think today, actually, in regard to the Blues, because somebody was asking about Binnington from the Blues, or something came up. Something came up with the Blues.
Yeah.
And I mentioned
Binnington because I saw it too. Someone was messaging it on our show. It was Binnington and Parayko to Edmonton for Jari, a draft pick, and who else? It was in one more player too. And I'm like, it's no. But.
If you could make that work, amazing. But I basically all I said was, I don't feel like the Oilers are that keen on talking to the Blues after everything that happened with Broberg and Holloway still. And then Belzy, I'm pretty sure Belzy's still listening, or him and Pagnotta and I have a group chat. He just sends a clip from Overdrive today. So Hayes, O-Dog, and Noodles, actually it was Jonas Siegel in for Noodles, had Drager and CJ on, Chris Johnson on. And the quote is, the Oilers still sour that St. Louis picked their pocket on the offer sheet. Drager and CJ on why Jordan Binnington hasn't been an option in Edmonton. I mentioned, I'm like, guys, I don't think they really are too happy with Doug Armstrong, nor should they be.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You remember that type of stuff. So
it burned and it still burns. Cass, awesome stuff, my friend. We'll catch up with you on the post-game show.
Sounds good, fellas.
There you go. There's our game analyst, Matt Cassian, with Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting Real Estate. If you're looking to buy or sell your home, or you want to check out the market, Damon is your go-to guy. Damon's now with the agency. Check him out, damonbunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Before we get to Dennis Bernstein, you can text us 780-218-9999. You can jump into the nasty chat as well. Let's get your game day odds check in, brought to you by Play Alberta, of course, EST, presented by Play Alberta. When you play in Alberta, it stays in Alberta. Safe and secure. The revenue generated from Play Alberta is redirected into Alberta's General Revenue Fund, which is used to support programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. Your money line for tonight, the Oilers slight favorites. This moved ever so slightly. They were both at minus 109 earlier. Edmonton now at minus 110. The Kings at minus 106. Your over-under set at 6.5. The over at minus 128. The under at minus 104. I think it was Jay's play of the day hit yesterday. I put a little sprinkle on that. Opened up my Play Alberta account, and I was like, you've won money. All right. So it hit. It was Seneca with a point, Draisaitl with a point, or was it McDavid with a point? McDavid with a point, Seneca with a point, and over 6.5. All of that hit. So just a nice little sprinkle, convert that into a little bit of cash, and away we go. All right, let's bring him in. The man, the myth, the legend. I haven't seen this guy in too long. He looks great. Dennis Bernstein from the fourth period. Hi, DB. How are you? Thank you. Good to see you.
It's springtime here. It was 29 Celsius today. So
get out of here.
Got my seersucker suit on. No, seriously.
You look great.
It was amazing. Yep. I feel great. Doing way better than the Kings are right now. So,
we'll get into that. Here it is teasing us with spring. We had a couple of really nice weeks. Then we got hit with a monster storm and some cold last week. Then yesterday it was warm and a little bit of sun. And then today we got a snow squall for like an hour. It was like a blizzard, but not really.
Yeah.
Now it's warm again.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Ristolainen would be the guy, but if you go to Puckpedia,
you
know the projected cap spaces for the Edmonton Oilers at the deadline? $3,000.
I saw that yesterday. It's not good.
$3,000.
It's not good.
Good luck.
Well, I'm glad you caught some of that because I'm texting with Pags right now, and he's like, "What cap space? OEL doesn't want to go anywhere."
Sure.
You catch wind of some of this stuff. What do you think of some of these rumors that are flying around here?
How do you do it? There's no cap space. It would be the greatest magic trick in the world if Stan Bowman could pull it off. I don't think he can, to be honest with you. But we'll see. Oh, look who's here.
Is that Spec?
Look who walked in. That's Spec, of course.
Tell him to behave himself.
People always jump in. Usually it's Jack. It's usually Jack, but this time it's Spec. So we'll see. I don't know how they do it, Tommy. I don't know how you do it. I think you got to ride with what you have. The only thing that's propping this team up and every other team is that the Pacific Division's a dog's breakfast. It's a mess. Like if you were in the Atlantic Division, any of these teams, you'd be in last place. So I don't know if the juice is worth the squeezes. Even if you go get a top 4 defenseman. And me and Speck were talking about this when we were talking to Jim before we talked to Jim Hiller. How many times have you seen a goalie be pulled with 6 minutes left in a game in the third period? Like never, like ever, like first period, second period. So Tommy, even if they make that move, it's not the same team that went to 2 Cup finals. It's not. So I don't even know that move. I think it's time to maybe not overpay and retrench and see what you can do in the offseason.
Yeah, and that's a tough sell considering the timeline on McDavid, the window that they're in. Fans don't want to hear that. They almost tasted victory. It was so close, and you've been here for both of those.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just close. But let me ask you a question, Tom. Which was a bigger embarrassment last night, the Kings or the Oilers? I'm not sure. I think it's a tie coming into the game tonight.
Well, the Oilers pissed away 2 goal leads and pulled their goalie, like you said, in the latter stages of the game. I think Chris Knobloch was visibly upset. I think he's feeling it now, and he's had a hard time hiding it. I'd go Oil, but because we're so oil-centric. But do tell us what happened in that 6-4 loss against the Vegas Golden Knights, DB.
No, it was the Henderson Silver Knights they played.
Ooh, even worse.
Stone, Marner, Hannafin, who else? There's 5 guys out. Eichel didn't play.
Yeah.
That should have been 4-1, 5-1, 4-2, whatever. They gave up 5 goals in the third period. And the biggest problem with this team right now is they've prided themselves all season on structure. If you look, they're in the midst of a 3-game losing streak in and out of the break. They've had no structure in these 3 losses. So if this team doesn't have structure, they're going to continue to lose. They've only got 25 games left. They're probably going to have to go 16-9 or 17-8 to make the postseason.
Yikes.
I don't see it. And not for nothing, their number 1 center tonight is Alex Laferriere, who they keep propping up here as a center. He's played, I think, 30 games in the NHL as a center. Like in his whole, probably professional career, he's played 30 games at center. So now they've moved Byfield to left wing. It was an ugly game last night. It's a game they should have easily won. And it's really bad when 3 of the guys who played last night got sent down to the AHL today. They're back in Henderson. Yeah. And you lost to that team when you really needed to win that game. They've got 6 games in a row here at home. They have the 31st easiest schedule with respect to strength of schedule. But when you lose to a team like that last night, who cares what the strength of schedule is? And Hiller said, I've asked Hiller all season, is this an important game? Is this a key game? Is this a crucial game? You know what he said tonight? This is all intents and purposes. This is a playoff game for both teams.
Yep.
He's never said that all year. There used to be a little sand, the time clock. The sand's running out on this team. It really, really is. And then the question is bigger picture. What happens in the offseason? What moves do they make? Because here's the thing, Tommy. You look at their center alignment tonight against the Oilers, which will always have an advantage in the middle. Here's their center alignment. Laferriere, Kopitar, Turcotte, and I don't even know who's the 4th line center because they scratched Hellenius because his line got credit last night. Jeez. You can't win with that. You can't win with that center spine. You can't do it. Even in as bad as the division is, Kenny has to make a trade for a center here if he really thinks he can get to the playoffs. And then even if they do, they actually could win around, Tom, to be honest with you, because everybody else stinks. Look at Seattle tonight. They're losing in St. Louis. But it's the one positive thing is Panarin's is advertised.
Yeah.
Came in first game. He's on a pace for 162 points, right? If he plays 82 games here, because he scored 2 points last night. Yes. He changes the paradigm here. The only problem is that when Tom Wilson fell on Kevin Fiala's leg, it doesn't amplify the way it should have. If Fiala was still in the lineup, then I could say, okay, this team has a legit shot. Mm-hmm. It's a net positive, but it's not the net positive they thought when Kevin Fiala got hurt.
Dennis Bernstein joining us now from the 4th period. Oilers and Kings going toe-to-toe once again. I like that what Jim Hiller said. Yeah, this is essentially a playoff game, and I don't know. Do you have faith, DB, in the Kings buckling down tonight after what happened last night? Because I'm basically listening to you, and I'm hearing a lot of the same talking points that we're making in Edmonton. Like the Pacific is not that strong. There is a path to the conference final through the Pacific. If the Oilers can just get hot and figure out their defensive game, they should be okay. And I'm hearing a lot of this similar discussion around the Kings, and you brought up some of those points. Do you have faith in the Kings buckling down tonight against the Oilers? Because one thing we've learned about Edmonton this year is they really struggle with dialing it in. And when they do, it's not really sustainable for a 60-minute period.
Tommy, if the goal total was 9.5 tonight, I'd probably play the over. Like, it's not like if it's 2-1, I'll buy you 10 beers when I get there the next time.
Can't wait.
I don't see that. There's no defense on either side of this puck right now for either team. I don't see it. Edmonton can't make a save. The Kings' structure is going away defensively. I don't see it. This is a wide open game, so I don't know. I don't know who's winning this game tonight. I do know it's not a defensive game. I know it'll go over. I think the total is 6.5 or 7. It's going to go over that total. It's going to be a track meet, which if it's a track meet, always favors the Oilers, right? Because the one team wants to play lockdown hockey, and they haven't done it over. And even going into the break, Jim Hiller said, "Look, we have to be better on special teams." I think their power play was 29th and the penalty kill was 27th. But he said, "But we also need to be better 5-on-5." And to me, that was a huge red flag because this team. If you look at the standings, though, if you look at the statistics. They're third best 5-on-5 goals against. So people can talk about Cody Ceci being terrible and Dumoulin's a bomb. They just don't give up a lot 5-on-5. The reason that they're in the predicament they are, they couldn't score goals. Like that's why the defense is good enough, but against this team. But I don't know if there's any advantage because both teams played last night. Both teams underachieved and played bad games. Flip a coin, Tom. Like you probably get the winner tonight.
We're going to see Connor Ingram for the Oilers between the pipes. You talked about the goaltending for the Oilers. Jari admitted he had a tough night. We discussed it last night on the post-game show. Didn't get a lot of help from the guys in front of him, all 5 of them, not just the defense, although the defense wasn't that great either. So we're going to see Kemper tonight. DB, this is a guy who really hasn't played a game in weeks. And it just came back from Italy. What do you expect?
Rust. I think if you're the Oilers, the first 10 minutes, you got to put volume shots on this guy because he hasn't played. Simple as that. So I think that's what you try to go at. You try if you get a power play, obviously that's going to be you try to win the first. I think the team that wins the first 10 minutes, Tom, given the rust, and I think there's still rust and there's still unfamiliarity, and I think the team that wins the first 10 minutes can win the game. To be honest with you, so if I'm Edmonton, volume on Kemper, test him, see if he does have how much rust does he. He's got to have some rust, right?
Yeah.
How much rust is the question? And with respect to the deficiencies they have with their structure, I think you got to jump on the team. And they might be a tired team, the Oilers, but you got to. If I'm Chris, I'm telling him, hey, first 10 minutes might win this game. Let's go out and try to settle this in the first 10 minutes.
DB, I love having you on our program and on our station anytime, every time. It's always the best. Thank you for doing this. Enjoy the game. Say hi to PJ for me, okay?
Of course, I always say that I'm more beloved in Edmonton than I'm in Los Angeles. So thanks for that, Tommy. I appreciate it.
Happy to help because you're good people. Thank you, DB.
Always a pleasure. Great to be on EST, Tom. Talk to you soon.
That is our man, Dennis Bernstein. I'm going to give it one of these. Love having him on, and we had Spec in the background. Spec said hello to us.
Really?
Yeah, when you stepped out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're in the media lounge down at crypto.com arena. So great stuff from DB. He works with Pegs at fourth period, obviously, and they have their radio show together on HL Network Radio. And he said it. Yeah, like, hey, those players sound great to go out and get before the deadline. How you gonna do it?
Yeah, pretty tough. To get that
if you find a way, that's fantastic. I would welcome that with open arms. Great. Good. Veteran. Better than what you have, Blue Liners. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I have to ask.
Yeah. It's a very tough game you're going to have to play to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And I think Oilers have holes, not just on their blue line. I think they would ideally want a third line center too. And if you're
absolutely.
And so if you're in that situation, like how are you going to get both of them done with the cap space you got and the assets you have? Like
it's a tough. They're in a jam, man. They're in a jam.
There's such a tough jam, and then
but so many desires.
Yes,
like, we need this, we need that, and
sounds like a flawed team to me.
Yes, absolutely, but. Any Oilers fan that says, hey, what about this guy? What about that guy? My first reaction going into this deadline is, yep, that's probably an improvement, and I would welcome it. How do you get it done?
Yep.
What do you prioritize in terms of what's needed most? I think defensemen, that's my opinion. We've had others discuss that. We've heard the Oilers have kind of started to shift towards the defenseman. We went through this last year when they went and got Klingberg and puck moving.
Mm-hmm.
You talk. You got to get the puck. You got to learn how to defend.
Yeah.
Or you got to be able to defend and you got to get the puck.
The Matthias Ekholm trade was such a perfect trade.
It was a great trade.
Because it was you got that shutdown guy in your own end, a guy that could break up plays and get you the puck, but then also a guy that can move it up the ice and get it to the guys of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah.
Right? And then his offensive upside kind of came out in Edmonton. He talked about it like when he was in Nashville, he was getting a lot of D-zone starts, and that was his role. And then when he came to Edmonton, he was given Evan Bouchard as a defenseman for his pairing, and they're all of a sudden getting all the O-zone starts, and he's starting to show his offensive side too. So that was nice to see when he first came here. Obviously, it hasn't been the best season for Matthias Ekholm, and Father Time's undefeated, but I still think he's a valuable defenseman, and he still can be productive for this team. But yeah, like I don't know if that Matthias Ekholm trade's out there, especially with the cap space you got. But I don't know, is OEL enough to change this team?
Tell you what, he's better.
He's better than
probably
Emerson
half
and Stasny,
half the blue line,
and probably Nurse at this point.
The way he's playing, yes, absolutely.
That's another left shot defenseman you added to, like Cass said. It's another one.
I know.
I prefer it to be right shot, but then
it sums up where we're at this year with this team.
Yeah, just doesn't feel like there's any good perfect fits. But
I get the frustration. I'm with you, Oil Country. I get it. Cautiously optimistic that they dig in, find a way. Maybe they can. Just lineup notes for tonight. We'll get into the advanced sport medicine and physiotherapy injury report as well, but I'll start with Zach Dooley. He put out the lines for the Kings. You're going to see Laferriere with Panarin and Kempe. Panarin, the 2 points last night, like DB alluded to. Kopitar with Fogle and Perry. Byfield between Moore and Armia. Turcotte centering Malott and Ward. On defense, Anderson with Doughty. Edmondson with Clark. Dumoulin with Ceci. And then for the Oil, I didn't see line rushes yet. Did you see them?
I haven't seen line rushes. I've seen Chris Knobloch's notes of what to expect tonight.
Do you want me to read them or do you want to read them?
You can go ahead.
It's up to you.
They're going 11-6 tonight.
They're going 11-6. This is from Paige Martin.
Yeah.
She summed it up nicely from Oilers TV. Ingram starts like we anticipated. Janmark out long term. Not good. I mean, listen. We mock his lack of offense. Understandable. That's a veteran player.
Yep.
With a role. To what extent and how well he does it, subjective. A lot of people say he's crap. A lot of people say, I can appreciate the little things. Guilty.
I'm with you.
But that's not good. Another guy out long term. Oilers, like you said, Benny, going 11-6 tonight. Kasperi Kapanen will likely play Saturday in San Jose. So this is less than ideal. If you're an Oiler fan against the Kings team, like DB said, is treating this, as Jim Hiller alluded to, like a playoff game.
I would be surprised if the Oilers are running different lines today. I would be, personally. You want to keep that McDavid line together. Like that just seems like the line that will not get broken up.
Savoy
had a fantastic game last night. Given opportunity with Draisaitl, so you'd think that you want to keep that together. Rosvik scored.
Yeah, I thought he was okay last night.
I thought it was kind of that hot streak Rosvik that we saw.
Looked good.
And then the bottom six, like I thought Frederick kind of had a noticeable game and a good step in the right direction.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me, I don't see a world where you're changing up the lines. To me, if you were to do that, that's just desperation after losing. To me, the problem wasn't the lines and the chemistry last night. It was your first game after a break. You're going to be a little bit sloppy, but you can't pick up the guy in front of your net or the guy back door. Lines are going to change that. It's going to be up here. So
Mangiapane and Lazar, if you're wondering, the extra forwards, if they're going 11-6, which sounds like they are tonight, that's a tough go. They're up against it cap-wise. Your goalies for tonight, 28-year-old Connor Ingram, 6-5-1 this season, 271 GA, 895 save percentage, one shutout in 14 games. He is 0-3-2 against LA lifetime, so looking for his first win against the Kings in his career. 337 goals against average, 874 save percentage, in 6 games versus Los Angeles. And then at the other end of the rink, the Olympian, silver medalist, Darcy Kemper, 35 years of age, 14, 11, and 9 this season, 259 goals against average, 900 save percentage, 2 shutouts in 36 games this year. Kemper versus the Oil picked up a lot of wins when he was in Arizona and Minnesota, Colorado against the Oilers. 13-4-4 lifetime versus Edmonton. 222 GAA, 924 save percentage, 2 shutouts in 21 games versus the mighty Oil. And that brings us to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. For the Oilers, Matthias Janmark, long-term. I didn't see a detail on what that injury was.
I don't know. What I saw was it was a chronic one.
That's the bum shoulder then.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what kept him out at camp. So he's been dealing with a long time.
So yeah, it just says it needs rest.
Yeah, flared up. That sounds like the bum shoulder. Kasperi Kapanen, undisclosed, but like Paige Martin reported, expect him on Saturday against San Jose. We're at BP 170th to watch the game, pre and post game show. Myself, Joaquin. Benny's going to stop by. I heard YouTube Trev was teased with the idea of stopping by as well. Maybe Hernan. We'll see. LA's injury, Kevin Fiala. You saw it happen at the Olympics with the hit that a reverse hit on Tom Wilson, sort of, and then Wilson fell on that leg. It looked awful. He is gone for the season. IR with the leg injury. That is your Advantage Sport Medicine Physiotherapy Injury Report. Check them out. www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. We have some time. We can go right to 8:30. I think let's run Chris Knobloch, but do you have any follow-up thoughts? And we're going to read some text too.
Yeah, it's, to me, my buddy's texting me about it right now. He's like, so is this a must-win game? Yeah, it sure is.
It's a 4-pointer.
It's a 4-pointer against a team that's chasing you. Yeah, to me, there's a lot of red flags that were from last night's game. You hope they cover those up. I'm looking at this team. I'd like to see some depth scoring come out a little bit tonight, even though, again, they scored 5 goals last night. That wasn't the issue. You have your better goalie in net.
Yep.
I'll say it. Connor Ingram. So, a couple of those plays that were to happen last night, I would like to think that, Connor Ingram's going to be able to stop it. Which I guess if, let's say Ingram was playing last night, I don't know if the Oilers lose. Like they kept getting the lead, and it just felt like Tristan Jarry couldn't make that one save that he needed, right? Yeah. It kept allowing the Ducks come back into the game.
I think it's fair to say they probably win.
Yeah. And now, and we've harped on the defensive play last night, and it deserved to. But yeah, there's definitely some goals that it can't really do much about. You need to save from your goalie there. So I'm looking for Connor Ingram to have a solid performance, stop the ones he needs to stop, and hopefully the defensive play comes around with it as well. And if they have similar offensive chances that they do tonight, I like their chances of winning.
Couple stats before we go into Chris Knobloch's pregame avail. Edmonton winless in 3 games at LA, so their last 3 visits unsuccessful, and they have 1 win in the last 5 games total versus the LA Kings. 1-2-2 is the record. Edmonton 5-3-2 in the last 10 versus LA. I suppose there's some good here. They are 8-4-3 against the Pacific Division. The Kings just 5-4-8. The Kings with 14 OTLs this season.
The Bettman points. There you go.
Yeah, that's keeping them buoyant.
Yes.
23, 20, and 14 is LA's record.
Get it to overtime.
Just beat them in regulation.
Yeah, how about, let's
beat Edmonton 28, 23, and 8. This is game number 60. All right, let's hear from the head coach, Chris Knobloch.
Will Connor Ingram be starting tonight?
Connor's our starting goalie, yes.
Do you have any update on Matthias Janmark?
Not officially. He'll be out long term, and we'll just wait and see how long it's going to be.
And how is Kasperi Kapanen doing?
Good. We anticipate him playing on Saturday if everything goes well. Felt that just with lack of playing time, that he needed just a little more time with skates, and we hope to get him in Saturday.
Any other lineup changes, of course, with Matthias Janmark coming out?
No, everything will be the same.
Those of us at the rink last night didn't even see what happened to Janmark. Can you elaborate in any way as to what lands him out long term?
Just a chronic injury that's been bothering him, and just him taking some time off.
Okay.
What does a strong response from your group look like tonight?
I thought we did a lot of good things yesterday, but being able to do it for 60 minutes, and I think the importance of playing good defensive hockey for 60. We haven't had any problem scoring goals, and we need to make sure that last night when we were up 2-0, 4-2, just being able to manage the puck a little bit better, check a little bit stronger, and not letting the other team back in the game.
Do you feel like, Chris, it's obviously, you look at the goaltender, you made a change late in the game, and the defense is doing their best, but are you thinking that there are plays to be done earlier or higher up the ice that could maybe prevent you from being in the predicament that potentially or did cost you the game last night?
Always, definitely from a coach's perspective, you're always looking at how you can eliminate any scoring chances against, and I think that's unfair to say that you're going to do that, but you just want to make it harder for the other team to be able to get their chances. When you're giving them to them, you're not checking well, or you turn over the puck, and ultimately just giving them that opportunity rather than earning it. That's something we're not okay with. And if they make several good plays to get a scoring chance, then so be it. Tip your hat and move on to the next play. But if you're giving them those opportunities, those are more difficult to handle.
What's your favorite thing about Gene Principe since it's his birthday?
Oh, I got too many things. We don't have enough time. They'd have to pull back the game time.
Hey, Paisan, bon compleano. I have to send him a text. There's Chris Knobloch. And then the Oilers just put it out there. Exactly what we anticipated. Benny said, you got to leave the lines the same. Well, they did. They listened to you. And I said, Mangiapane and Lazar, the extras. Guess what? They are.
They know what's up.
No changes to the pairings. Ingram in for Jari between the pipes. Kemper at the other end of the rink. Let's go to a couple of texts. Bob Morton says, is Nurse sitting? He should be. Bob.
They're already down a man tonight, so
they only have 16 men on the roster, and they're down another man. They're only dressing 17 skaters. I understand your sentiment, and Nurse needs to play way better than he did last night, and better than he has this season. Let's go to Conroe, Texas. Tommy, not going to lie, the Oilers have cheated us out of the enjoyment of watching the Maple Leafs collapse. They lost 5-1 tonight. We are afraid to laugh at them for fear karma will chase us down. Signed, Conroe, Texas.
it's fair.
Yeah, Coach Mike says, put another way, Perry has more points than Mangiapane, Henrique, and Frederick combined. Perry has 28 points this season. He would be 7th on the Oilers. That's from Coach Mike. Benny, you seeing anything? Any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, they could definitely use a Shoddy Mills jump, Duck Dad. I'm with you.
Hey, great Shoddy Mills reference. You know what that gets you? Dun, da, da, da. Nice.
Let's go, Shoddy.
Love having this board.
But yeah, I mean, this is a game. I hope they're pissed off from last night and they wake up and they're just ready to go. But I don't know. We'll see. I hope that's the case, man. I hope it's the case. That's all I'll say.
CB Radio guys texting in going scorched earth. I'm not going to dive into it, but he just sums it up with trade the team completely. Deep breaths. And then I'll end it with this one. It's from Chris. Says, Tommy, Kassian, Bad Benny, 3-man weave, my favorite pregame ritual. Solid stuff. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate that very, very much. And we're happy to provide. And we can't wait to do the post-game show tonight. Looking forward to it. Of course, I'll reiterate and remind everyone, if you want to join us at Boston Pizza 170th on Saturday for the Oilers and the Sharks game, myself and Joaquin will be doing the pregame and postgame show live there. Benny will come in after the pregame show. We'll be sticking around the entire game. Lots of great prizes, game day specials to take advantage of. That is on Saturday, 2 o'clock start against the Sharks. But first, it is the Oilers and the Kings. Edmonton is looking to snap this slide here. Kings looking for a better performance after they lost to the Henderson Silver Knights, as Dennis Bernstein, our guest from the fourth period, said tonight. Let's see which team comes out on top. A 2-point cushion furthers Edmonton's chances, especially against the Kings, keeping them in the rearview mirror. Let's see if they can get it done in regulation. I'm tripping over myself. That means get out of here, Tom. For Benny and Cass, I'm Tommy saying enjoy the game. We'll see you on the postgame show.